Hello there, I'm Thomas from She Died in a Parking Lot. This is part number 6 of my video series about Synthwave, where I show you some music production tips and take you through my music composition process. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss the next steps. So let's make a beat, Synthwave style, and today we talk about structure. Okay, first of all, as you can see, I've renamed everything according to our tracks, and I also put some colors to differentiate the different parts we have. So here in blue it's what we did in the previous videos, and here in purple-ish it's what I made off camera, so we can continue our track. Here I made some quite long melody that goes over 16 bar, and here I have another melody pattern which is more chord based. Let's listen to everything. Great! Now, how can we arrange that so it makes a track and not just loops like that? If you're starting out music and not familiar with track structure, one of the easiest parts of finding a nice structure is to take inspiration from a song you know and like. I'm going to show you in Logic how you can do that. So import one of your tracks. I selected one of my Synthwave all-time favorite, which is Running in the Night from FM84, which you have to listen to. Once you imported it in Logic, double click on it, then in the editor you go to the Smart Tempo, click on Analyze. Here Logic is going to analyze the beat of your song so it can find its tempo. Here you can see this song is at 133 BPM, and to match it with our track we're gonna go to Edition and apply Project Tempo to Region. Now the song we imported is matched to the tempo of our project, and we can listen to it and slice it to find the different parts it's made of. Alright, as you can see, I sliced everything, renamed the parts and color coded them. You can rename them however you like. I like to call them A, B, intro, outro, bridge, but you can name them however you like the most. If you prefer to call them verse and chorus or build up and drop, it's up to you, I don't mind. As we can see, it's a quite simple structure. We've got an intro, A part, a pre-B or pre-chorus, B, A, B, another type of B part, a bridge, B and B part again. It's also good to notice that every part is around the same length. As you can see, it's around 16 bars. But as the song is stretched to match our tempo, it goes around the 6-minute bar, which is quite long. It's supposed to be faster, so I think the original song is around 4 minutes, something like that. Let's try to keep the same structure, but to keep it a little shorter for our track, and instead of doing 16 bars, we'll do 8. I'm going to do the same structure but in MIDI region. As you can see, I remade a track structure out of empty MIDI region. This way I'll just have the structure and nothing playing on it. So we can get rid of that. And we can minimize this just a bit and put it on top. Also, you can notice that I color-coded everything so it matched the structure of my loops. Now that we put some colors on our structure and on our loops, let's try to match those different parts so they make sense and they go nicely together. One thing to keep in mind is that we don't want all the time to have all our instruments playing together. You can see our block of loops here like a block of Lego. So when you do like a house or a spaceship or whatever. You don't have all your parts or layers taking all the same space, or it would just be, well, a tower. So let's see what we can construct with what we have and see if we can create some contrast between the different parts. Okay, let's see what we can do with our part right there. So let's say we'll want to start with our pads in the intro, maybe with our bass as well. So our drum can start here with our plugs and our lead after that. Okay, let's duplicate that here. And let's try to see how it sounds like that. And maybe we'll also want our plugs to start at the end of the intro. Maybe something like that. Sounds nice. Maybe we can have some drums just at the end right there. I've just added the 2 snare hits right there, just so the drums doesn't enter like right away like, oh, this is me, it's the drum, but more like, hey, it is me, these are drums. You see what I mean? Okay. Don't hesitate to mute some instruments so you can see what goes together and what can be taken out of the part and still sounds good. So you can keep, for example, the bass and the pads for the same part with the melody, but after that. For example, we could do something like that for the second A part and maybe mute those 2 instruments right there. One easy way to create contrast between parts is obviously by removing one instrument. The bass works really well for that. Let's see how that sounds. Maybe we could keep just the last notes of the bass here, so it introduces the next part. Just those 3 ones. Since we have 3 B parts right there, I think it could be cool to construct those parts as well, so you don't have everything in the first one, a bit more in the second, and everything in the third. Maybe something like that. Let's keep this one here as well. Let's duplicate this one here. And also this one at the end. And maybe we can cut some instruments in those different parts so they don't appear every time. Or instead of muting some parts, you can always make your instruments play more quietly. For example, our pads here are maybe a bit loud for the first part of the B part. So let's try a really low velocity. Same thing for our plugs and our lead as well. Let's delete some notes on the pads so they're a bit less intense in the beginning. And we'll want the velocity to increase a bit at the end of the first part, so it does not make a big jump in volume like we just heard before. That works quite well, however, I think the pads and the plugs can be a bit intense, and we can create a bit more contrast using those instruments. Let's keep the velocity a bit lower here, same for the plugs here. Maybe we can change the last note of the lead. As you can see, we used the pre-B part to do another part for our A. Now let's see what we can do for our B and B prime, B prime in French. How would you say that in English? Let me know in the comments. For me, it's gonna be B prime, alright? Sounds good. It's like Optimus Prime, but more like B prime. It's like his little brother. Okay, whatever. Okay, so that's the most intense part I like. Let's duplicate it and mute the plugs here. Okay, I'm not sure if we're gonna need the plugs, except if we use the plugs on the bridge, which that can make a nice transition, so maybe just keep them at the end. I'm just gonna mute them for now, but we'll keep that idea in mind. Here I think the pads were maybe a bit too much, because it's not like the big finale, it's like, the mini finale. Let's cut the higher notes so they don't like be... Let's just cut the higher notes. I just realized that I deleted the notes I will need for the last part, so let's just undo that, copy everything here and delete those notes again. So at the end here we will need everything at once, and let's try to put the velocity a bit up. All right. So the end should sound like that. Maybe we can create a bit more contrast between the last B parts. I think the pads take a lot of space, so maybe we can take off a bit of bass. something like that. Let's cut some notes and we can try to do something similar with the bass here. Since the notes are descending, we can try to put the lowest notes an octave up, so we will still have the notes but not on the bass frequency. Let's try that. So you can see how here we cut some bass frequencies but keep our notes, so everything sounds fuller for the end. I like that. And we miss our bridge. What can we do for the bridge? I think I have some idea for the bridge with parts we already have in our song. However, you can compose another part especially for the bridge if you want to. That's what I usually do, but here I have an idea. Let's take our pads from here, copy paste them. Okay, let's cut some notes. Alright, and put them an octave up. Should sound like that. And to complement them, I think we could add the plugs we have at the end, but redo their melody so they suit the bridge better. That way the bridge serves to announce the last part. Okay, let's just keep this one for now. I'm just going to change the notes so they go with the pads we have up there. Okay, I've come to something I like for this part, but since it's the bridge and we want to create a better contrast, since we have 2 layers per instrument, maybe we can use one of this layer to create more contrast. So only one of our pads and one of our plugs. Let's try those. Well, let's just put it one octave down. And let's take the beginning of the drums to put them here, go up here, and let's see how that sounds. Let's try to make a simple tom break right there. Louder, and let's put a less louder. I was not really happy with our pre-B section. There was too much of a drop in intensity. So I put everything back except the plugs. And I also tweaked the velocity of our pads and the plucks in the first B section. It was really a big jump in volume in this part. Before ending this video, I wanted to show you a couple of things about structure and arrangement. Sometimes arrangement is a bit of a trial and error thing, and the part you thought could be your verse would end up to be a better chorus and vice versa. Don't hesitate to move your blocks or parts around so you have another listening perspective on what you did. And there's a few things you can do in your DAW to facilitate that. For example, in Ableton or now in Logic, you have this loop mode. Here you can select your parts here and drag them into the loops on the left. And this one. That way you can play your different parts in the order you want and record them in the arrangement view. So for example, and everything is triggered on the beat. Excellent. Now I'm going to show you how I usually do that in Logic. Maybe not the best way, but well, that works for me, so maybe it will work for you as well, is by using the loop cycle. Let me show you what I mean. For example, if I wanted to listen what B, B prime and A sound, what I would do is loop that and play from B prime. So the next section that will play is the A section right there, alright? So just like that. And still using the loop selection with Logic, let's say now that I wanted to listen to A, pre-B, and then go straight to B prime. You could put your loop selection like that and command click on it. That way your playhead will go directly from pre-B here to B prime, like that. That way you can loop, skip parts and listen to your structure in a whole new way. And that's it for the structure of our song. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you think in the comments and feel free to ask any questions. Please go like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next steps of this video series. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.